What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of event management? Is it complexity, stress, or perhaps unpredictability? If yes, you of course need a solution that can simplify your life and make it easier. And that's exactly where artificial intelligence comes in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Analytics Insight podcast, where we talk about the ever evolving technology space. And I'm your host, Priya Dialani. Now, event planning can be a maze of tedious details and endless checklists. But what if there was a better way? Well, of course, we cannot promise a magic wand. We can tell you about the next best thing, and that's artificial intelligence. With AI powered live event management, you can finally breathe a sigh of relief as the heavy lifting is taken care by AI and leaving you with more time to focus on the creative elements that truly make your event shine. And today with us, we have Mr. Vivek Sagi, CTO at EventBrite, a global self-service ticketing platform for live experiences that allows anyone to create, share, find, and even attend events that fuel their passion and enrich their lives. Hi, Vivek. How are you doing? Welcome to our podcast.
Hey Priya, doing great and thanks for having me.
Great. So let's start with telling our listeners more about your company and its specialization and what are different services that you offer.
Yeah, so Eventbrite is a global events marketplace. So, like any marketplace, we have two sides for it. On the supply side or the event creation side, we have, I think, a self service platform that allows anybody to create, market, and sell tickets for live events. And we do that globally in about 180 countries. On the demand side or the consumer side, for event goers, we offer a place to discover unique events around you locally based on your preferences, purchase history, interests, similar events, etc. And we operate at significant scale. So, like in 2022, we sold over 280 million tickets across about 5 million events. And I think you use the word event management and event experience. And at the end of the day, what makes events unique, we believe, is the in real life experience, right? And Eventbrite bridges that digital and in real life actual event. So we use very advanced technologies, more recently like AI, to bring people together in real life. And these are unique live experiences. So these are not like thousands or millions of people, but most of our events are fairly small, very kind of intimate, small group sessions. And where we're using AI is obviously, like you mentioned, it's the event creation process itself, which could take hours or days. We've managed to bring it down within like about 5 minutes now. If you're a first-time event creator, to be able to create an event using AGI. I think we're also excited to be in India. So we're a global company, and we have a development center in India, actually all over the country. Actually, that's over 100 plus developers strong. Yeah, and excited to talk to you more about how we're seeing technology kind of bring this digital and in real life.
Glad. I think that's quite interesting as to what Eventbrite is into. And given my professional and a corporate experience into wedding planning and event management, this seems like more like how technology can definitely enhance the entire event management process. Now, prior to joining Eventbrite, I believe that you served as a Chief Technology Officer for Retail Minot and also held various leadership positions at Amazon. First being the Chief Technology Officer at Boot.com, which was an Amazon company, and then as the Global Head of Products and Engineering for Amazon Business Procurement Solutions. So, we would also like to know more about your role and contribution towards Eventbrite.
Yeah, so I think I'm the chief technology officer. So obviously, my number one responsibility is shaping Eventbrite's technology roadmap, right? Driving the innovation, kind of deciding which technologies that we want to bring in and adopt in order to deliver on our customer consumer centric mission. Obviously, we have a pretty large team distributed across 13 countries. So, providing career development, making sure that we are hiring the best, most diverse talent, giving them career development opportunities, and kind of matching their career aspirations with the projects that we have going on worldwide is another key part of my role. The third is, again, like any technology company, and given the pace of technology growth right now, it's hard for us to do everything. So, making a call on which technologies we want to explore, whether through proofs of concept or kind of just partnering with them on a project, and which ones we just is not the right time right now, and then which ones we're going to push for wide adoption, and making that call on that overall technology roadmap is another part of my mission. The other one I would say is we're in a unique position where we've got like a two-sided marketplace. We've got a supply side, like small to mid-sized business enterprise tools that we build. We've got a consumer side. It's almost like having three or four businesses together. So, learning from peers, I spend a fair bit of time with peers, other companies in the industry, big and small, and also at tech conferences, kind of finding those insights that can come back into Eventbrite and help us build better products for our consumers.
Right. I think glad that you shared about your experience and, of course, your role towards the company. Now, when we're talking about artificial intelligence and big data or machine learning, I think we also have been quite, there's a lot of buzzword around metaverse. So I think the metaverse looks to work in like weird and wonderful ways, I believe. It leverages virtual, augmented, and even physical reality to create immersive experience for users around the world. And events in metaverse are believed to be one of the more practical uses of the metaverse space that allows users to interact with whomever, whenever they want. So this is more than ideal for events of all sizes, I believe, from individual meetings to even full-scale open days, I believe. So
Mhm.
we would also like to know your personal experience with metaverse and how do you think, metaverse is set to transform the event industry?
When the metaverse launched, it was massively hyped for a while. Now I think the pendulum has kind of swung the other direction. Everybody ridicules it. Even Facebook or Meta is not talking about it much. But I think the truth with any other technology is somewhere in the middle. And obviously, Apple coming in more recently with their new kind of headset launch tells us that we're in the very early stages of this space. My journey with the metaverse started with skepticism because, I mean, holding a very heavy headset in your on your head for a while and participating virtually when we're all about in real life kind of didn't seem to make intuitive sense to me. But there's one use case where I've kind of tried it, which is virtual conferences, which is meeting with other CTOs globally virtually for about 45 minutes to an hour to talk about like topics of interest to us. And for that use case, that very specific use case, I've found it to be pretty interesting and saves me the time to travel to a different location, check into a hotel, drive to a location, and then kind of go meet with all these people. I can just get on the virtual headset and do that in 45 minutes to an hour. So I think for that one use case, I've become a fan. I've been doing that once a quarter. But I would say that again, it's not a focus for Eventbrite, especially given we are all about that in real life experience, right? So we're not planning to do anything with the metaverse.
Oh, okay. I think that was quite insightful because I think a lot of people were talking about how metaverse can transform the event industry. But thanks for sharing your perspective also as to the limitations of metaverse, I would say that way. Um, Now, while we're talking about metaverse, of course, you spoke about artificial intelligence and how you're leveraging these AI-enabled services and solutions to give like comprehensive platform to users in terms of live ticketing global platform. Now, again, I believe artificial intelligence has been since long, and something that's been advancing artificial intelligence is personalization of what we can call as personalized AI. So it's kind of helping turn impersonal attendees' experience into something very generic and unique that way. And AI-powered systems can analyze attendee data, their interest, past interactions, professional background, to generate insights about what each attendee will most likely engage with at an event, at a particular event. So I also wanted to understand what are your views on personalized AI and would you be deploying or have you ever deployed personalized AI at EventBrite?
Yeah, I started my I think talking about AI, learning about AI back when I did my master's in '97. So AI has definitely been there as a pretty powerful tool set in the last, I would say, 20 plus years. And what's made it really exciting and accessible to everybody today is, I think, two things. One is just the big data, right? The sheer amount of data that we've collected and that companies have been amassing, I think, for years, right? As systems have gotten more powerful, databases have gotten more powerful. So everybody's sitting on unimaginable amounts of data. The second part of it, I think, has been just compute power, right? So as compute power has kind of exploded and we can do a lot more calculations a lot faster, this big data can now be transformed into insights. And I think where I see personalized AI becoming important is First and foremost, we've all been collecting tons of data from every interaction on our phone, on the browser, with what we like, what we share, but a lot of it is unstructured. So I think AI can help structure and analyze this data and make sense out of it without us having to go through a lot of tagging and taxonomy. And once we do that, we can learn a lot about a person's preference and we can tailor our offering specifically to them. So that's where the personalization comes in. So AI takes unstructured data, makes it structured, then we can train machine learning models on it, and then we can make it personalized from an event creation or an experience perspective. So bringing it back into like the Eventbrite context. So in 2022, we had more than 5 million events that were created on Eventbrite to organize, and event creators organized and promoted these events. If you look at what goes into an event, there's user generated event information, description, there are labels that are also generated by the creator. There's a lot of other content that gets created around it, like where is the event, who is it for, what are the ticket prices, etc. That's just a gigantic wall of unstructured text. Then you look at it on the other side, we have more than 200 million people that are searching for things to do on our platform in over 180 countries, right? And 90 million of them actually end up buying a ticket. So how do you go across somebody who's attended one event versus three events versus seven events, but maybe across three towns or three cities? It becomes very hard to recognize the taste patterns of these individuals. So I think that's where personalized AI kind of makes that connection happen. So using personalized AI, I think we have it used across our marketplace in multiple areas of our product. So Eventbrite can leverage that vast information from our global platform to transcend our offering beyond just ticketing, right? Ticketing is the bare bone. But now we are evolving into a place where personalized AI actually helps consumers discover things to do. Creators that they didn't know anything about, or maybe events they didn't know anything about, that we make that connection happen. And we're going beyond ticketing into driving that marketing magic to happen. On the event creation side, I think I mentioned this before. So what used to be, hey, put in a title for your event, putting in a description for your event, kind of decide what prices you want to sell your tickets at, how many tickets you want to sell, etc. You've taken the vast power of the data that we've collected and made it a 3 to 5 minute process. So you just put in a one sentence description. For example, something like, hey, I want to have a Bollywood dance class. And based on that, using AGI, we automatically generate the description. We create the images, give you a set of images you can pick from, and then we tell you how many tickets you should create at what ticketing price points, and boom, you just select them and you're done creating the event. And that's all possible because of AGI and then the personalized AI that you can apply on top of it.
Right. I think I pretty much liked like how you mentioned that through AI, through personalized AI, we're trying to give more opportunities to attendees and users as to what they can explore in the event. And I think that gives a different and a unique experience, and wherein they can enjoy it to the fullest is what I believe. Um, Now you were talking about unstructured data and personalized AI helps in basically structuring the data and giving like a more human and intuitive experience. So have you there are a lot of controversies around data security and privacy or data protection. So are there any specific strategies that you have deployed where you're ensuring that the data, whatever you're collecting of the attendees or the past interactions, what strategies have you employed in terms of ensuring that the data is secure and protected and there are no data breaches happening that way?
Yeah, and I think data is absolutely key, right? It's critical to trust in a marketplace. So obviously, as a global public company, we protect data compliant with all the laws in the US and Europe and in each of the countries that we operate in. So that's one. Second is we anonymize all the data. So we're very clear with both our consumers and our creators and every other participant in the marketplace, like what data is being captured and how it's being anonymized. So that's number two. And then third is obviously when we work only on anonymized data, we make absolutely sure to the best of our abilities to never share or even sell or even buy any data that is tied to an individual, right? Because we're trying to, I mean, our intent is to find insights at a marketplace level and from a trends perspective, but never on a particular individual event creator or a consumer perspective. Data protection, I think, is built into every layer of our infrastructure. So the way we store our data, the way we retrieve our data, the way we encrypt our data during transit when it's moving from one source to another source, even maybe when it's being input or used within our services. We use industry leading kind of methods and software architecture best practices for that.
Right, glad to know that, Vivek. And also, if you consider the current scenario, the vast majority of events that take place, they don't take like a one size fits all approach. For example, when it comes to content, I think event organizers usually put together panels with top quality speakers, hoping that they will please everyone. Now, if you consider large scale events and conferences, I think they stretch over multiple days, and they can offer like a wide variety of presentation, panels, breakout sessions, etc., or boot camps, extra. Like there are a lot of different sub events that happen in a particular large scale event. So we would want to know that. You have explained about how you've been using artificial intelligence or different technologies at EventBrite. So we want to understand the use cases of EventBrite and what are the success of these use cases of personalized AI that way.
Correct. I think one I've already talked about, which was actually the event creation, right? So this is event descriptions, the images, the label, even any promotional content copy that you want to put out, all of that during the event creation process. That's an example that we already spoke about. The other was at the end of the day, every event organizer, right? Why do they hold events? They want to connect people, but they also want to build a business or scale a business, right? They want to kind of reach more people, grow an audience. They all do some version of advertising. So we offer a product that allows event organizers to do social media ads, and we actually introduced AI generated copy and content, like images and content there. And what we've found is that social media ads with AI generated copy on Eventbrite have shown about a 17% better cost per click, which is fantastic, right? Compared to campaigns without AI powered content. Now, this has got a double whammy effect because creators have been able to launch ad campaigns 30% faster than having to create it themselves. And then these campaigns are converting better at a 17% better cost per click. So that's been really transformative for our event organizers that want to market on social media their events. The other, I think, is if you're an event creator holding an event for the first time versus if you're somebody who's done it for a long time and know what to do, just automating that summary, the event description, the images, just that alone has increased our publish rate. What we mean by that is somebody who came in to start publishing an event got kind of really overwhelmed with choice and left. So we've improved our publish rate by about 4 to 10%, while reducing the time and effort for first time users to create their first event by 30%. So as we've reduced this barrier to create events, right, we've kind of democratized event creation. That's just led to more events, and I think that will get faster and faster. We've also found that creators who use Eventbrite's promotional tools. So this is not social media ads, but Eventbrite ads or kind of push and promote on Eventbrite's significant global platform. They're selling about 63% more than if they were doing it themselves, and we provide AI generated kind of AI assisted content for them. So still at the very beginning, I think the best is yet to come. And then when I think about AI, it's impacting all aspects of our, right? It's impacting our products for our creators. It's impacting the products and personalization for our consumers. But it's also impacting our processes and the tools that we're using internally to be more efficient, right? I mean, at the end of the day, as a CTO for an engineering organization, there are tools that are allowing us to write better code, more test automation. Our engineers are becoming more efficient. On the other side, we are automating a lot of internal processes that used to be a lot of clicks and manual touch points. We are automating them through using no code tools. So I think tons of opportunity. We're at the very early stages of that too. And I think the pace of innovation will accelerate over the next few quarters.
Agreed. I completely agree with you that the best is yet to come, and we can expect more developments and innovations in the tech and event space. And just like we have been learning to search with search engines, we also need to adapt our mental models and learn how to interact with large language models or different AI models. The first thing being that we need to learn how to ask the right questions and leverage the capabilities of AI effectively. Now, for example, the ChatGPT, when it came into the picture, I think a lot of people were not able to realize the full potential of ChatGPT because they didn't know how to frame the right question to get the right answer that they are expecting. And that is what people are calling it as prompt engineering, which today means learning how to frame requests or questions for the AI chatbot. Uh, Now, having said that, I think there are a lot of tech innovations that keep on happening. So we would want to know that how does Eventbrite foster tech innovation?
EventBrite was recently ranked one of Fast Company's 50 most innovative companies in the world. I think we landed on the number one spot on the live events category. And I think something you talk about ChatGPT and prompt engineering, right? So it's interesting when we talk about personalized AI and then the prompt engineering. I think these kind of overlap over the long term. Because you're right, consumers can't learn all the different ways to prompt, right? Like what persona should I take on? How should I ask the question, etc. But I think what personalized AI can do is by learning what context they're operating in, and then by learning kind of what they're looking for, we can create the prompts for them on the back end so that they get a very visual kind of large LLM kind of driven model experience without having to do that prompt engineering. So I think that's where it gets really exciting over the future. Now, in terms of how did we rank on the most innovative companies list, or how do we foster tech innovation? We start off by first and foremost organizing our teams around customers and having them own everything that they is about that particular product, and we give them equal opportunities for everybody in the company to come up with innovative ideas. I think I was just in India 2 weeks ago, and the context there was we did a 48-hour hackathon that we repeat in each of our dev hubs multiple times a year. And the context there is anybody can innovate, and we give a context for what do we want to innovate on. This time, the hackathon was around our consumers. How do we allow them to consume content differently and find events better? And that was mind-boggling in terms of the innovative ideas that came out of the India team. And the team members were from different departments: engineering, marketing, product, human resources. Lots of diverse perspectives, right? And we allow this to be very collaborative, where you can participate independent of geography, tenure, or title. And then we take these hackathon ideas, pick the best ones, and we actually push it into production so that our consumers can kind of vote with their thumbs up or down on that particular feature. So those company sponsored hackathons have been great. For example, that simple AI powered event creation that came out of one of the hackathons about last year, I think, early last year. We have a great board. Like I said, one of my roles as CTO is to also cast a wide net and talk to peers in the industry. So we have a lot of leadership mentoring sessions that are focused on innovation and AI. For example, we did one recently with the CFO of the Alphabet Moonshot Factory. This is at Google, not at Twitter, because I think that's called X2. And Helen spoke to us about innovation leadership and how AI is being approached by Google and at scale. We recognize innovation through a quarterly Make It Happen award. So I think that's a $2,500 cash reward that we give out to recognize and reward innovation, so that people are doing that on a quarterly basis. Also, we realize that in a global company with a global employee base, innovation needs time and focus. So what we do is we set aside no meeting blocks, and then we have 1 week that we do twice a year. We call it Straight Fire Focus Week, and that's to empower employees to focus on this deep work and innovative work, and kind of not just focus on ideas, but take that idea into write the code for it, test it, and put it into production. So that entire life cycle. And I think innovation is not also just about your end product, right? Innovation is also about how do you innovate in working in a hybrid world with the world changing post pandemic. So I think we're pretty proud of what we have done there, which is we've been a remote first culture, not bringing employees into work, and we're empowering employees to work wherever they work best, right? And work when they work best. And that's allowed us to, I think, innovatively attract the best talent and get them together into teams that are having a lot of impact.
Right. I think in order to foster tech innovation, it's very important to embrace a culture of innovation across the entire organization. And I think you've pretty well summarized as to how what are the different initiatives that you have been taking in order to ensure that you're bolstering technology and innovation and making sure that whatever you're delivering is best. And I think up until now, it's very much clear that technology in some way can make the ticketing strategy become like make it more straightforward and effective. Now, I believe, for instance, AI algorithms can help establish optimal ticket pricing strategies, They could do this based on factors such as demand dynamics, time of purchase, competitive pricing, extra, and much other factors. And they could also analyze historical ticket sales data available with ticket generator to forecast future sales trends or maximizing the ticket sales and profitability. Now, that's one such aspect what AI can help in terms of the ticketing strategy. Now, one last question for you, Vivek, would be how do you think is the future of personalized AI, or um, how do you think would be the potential uses will spring up in personalization based on big data that can help millions of events and consumers around the world?
I am really, really bullish, right? I think we're in the very early days. I'm really bullish about the potential for us applying AI to really make the event experience and the events marketplace like really great. So I think if you think about the current AI tools, we have made event creation and the marketing of those events more efficient. But I think the future holds a lot of promise in making both of those even more personalized. Like, for example, go to any events discovery and you'll immediately drown in hundreds or thousands of events, right? And just browsing through all of them is still not as efficient as it needs to be. So, whether that's category based, theme based, knowing where you are, knowing your context, and automatically showing, hey, you might be looking for something for nightlife, or you're looking for something for dining right now, right? And just kind of navigating through all of that choice and getting you into the few things that are going to appeal to you, knowing your context. I think that's an area where personalized AI can be really beneficial for us. The second is, I mean, we're all on the move, right? And that phone is always with us, and we may not even know that we're looking for something because we don't go in and we're actively looking for it. But if we could kind of prompt you that, hey, there's an event around you with the genre that you like, and if you're visiting a new city or whatever, if we can prompt you and show that to you, and you didn't even know it was happening, but it's something that you might love, then that's another area where personalized events and I mean, AI can make that connection happen, right? That magic happen. An example of this is imagine that you're walking around your hometown or you're traveling for work in this new city, and Eventbrite notifies you of an underground jazz concert or a craft, brew tasting or a dance off or whatever your preference is. Or you're traveling, and then it just happens that somebody from your social group, a friend or somebody else, is also traveling. You didn't know about it. It connects the two of you if you're both willing to share your location and says, hey, do you want to get together? There's something new that's happening here. So, and you can just magically just get to that event, look at it, get a ticket on your phone, and just show up for that live experience where the magic happens, right? I think that's exciting. And I think if you think about the last thing I would say about this is, there's a pre event where you discover the event. Then there's the during the event, the experience that you have. And then the post event where you become part of the community that you're part of, right? And you go on to have more experiences together. It's not just the event creation and the discovery that AI can help. I think it's during the event itself. If you think about AI now helping create music, create video, create all kinds of content. So let's say I only had a 10,000 rupee budget and I could only hire two, band players to kind of do background music. I can now synthesize music with AI and I could have a whole symphony orchestra that I didn't pay for, right? I still have the two artists, musicians giving me the live experience, but the rest can be AI generated. As you think about multimodal experiences, some videos, some different spots in the stage that I might have to go a different experience or an immersive experience, you can generate a lot of that through the AI too. So I think that's where the in-event experience will also morph, and AI can assist a lot with that. And then let's say you had a couple of friends who couldn't make it, and you want to share what you're going through with them. Maybe in the future you open up a holographic view of them in the room kind of participating with you, and they get back the inputs the same way as if they were at the event. So I think the possibilities are endless. We're very, very excited to be at this point in time engaged in making events in real life successful through our marketplace.
Glad to know that about that, Vivek. And I think the future landscape of the overall industry, event industry, might seem complex, but I think AI and AI's capabilities are blurring the lines between reality and deception, I would say. But by embracing these technologies and adopting proper strategies, I think companies can stay ahead of the curve and deal with the challenges, mitigate the issues, protect the fans and events alike, and ensure that they are delivering like a more richer and a secure event experience and an enjoyable event experience. Well, thank you so much, Vivek. It was pleasure talking to you today and learning more about the capabilities of AI and how you have been using technology at EventBrite to deliver a more secure live experience, ticketing platform experience to users, and also about the to event hosters and creators around the world.
Thank you so much, Priya, for having me. Appreciate the opportunity.
Great. And this is for our listeners. Stay tuned for our upcoming podcast, and you can listen to all our podcasts on Spotify and other leading platforms.